let's paint some ceramics. So today I'm done in the studio and I've got my paint at home kit from Pinta Crafts, and this is what I spent my last New South Wales Discovery voucher on. And so what I've got, I got to choose a ceramic dude, and I've chosen this Triceratops planter. I can plant something in it afterwards and he looks cute. But also I wanted something with not too much of my own creative influence. Like, I'm just going to be focusing on the colors. I don't have to come up with a design, so that's good for me because I can't think of stuff right now for this sort of thing. And then I got to choose my colors. So this is what they look like when they're wet. They will dry, they will glaze differently. They apparently get darker and shinier. And I was given a thing to, sort of choose, like get an idea of how they look. Some of these are from, like, I actually went into the store, so I got more choice than if you did it online. So I've got red blaze, neon yellow, bright sapphire. Hey, it's red, yellow, blue, good mix of things. And apparently I can mix the paints if I want to. I've also been given this, instruction kit, and it goes through quite a lot of stuff, which is really handy. A thing about bringing it back to the studio. It all came in this bag. Oh yeah, and I also got myself a toolkit. So it's got some paint brushes, toothpick, pencil, sponge, palette, like everything you need. And also, a lot of my paint brushes are pretty terrible, so I thought I'll get some new ones from them. Support a local business. And so yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna film myself actually painting it because I don't have a tripod down here, but I'm going to paint it over the next, it'd probably take me a few weeks. And then once I've painted it, and I'll show you a bit of my progress as I go. Once I've painted it, I'm gonna take it back to Pinta Studios and they will fire it for me, and then I go and pick it up once it's all done. And yeah, it should be nice and glazed and colorful, and then I can plant something in it. So this is a video that's gonna take a while. Hopefully I don't forget to do it. Yeah, and it's also going to take a while because I brought it down to the studio. I thought I could do it at home, but knowing me, I can't focus on art at home anymore, so I had to bring it here, and I'm only here usually once a week. I also have to bring my hairdryer over to dry it in between things. But yeah, this is going to take a while for me to get done. Yeah. So that's where I'm starting off. Okay, so that's the first coat of paint done. You can see I've started with the yellow. The recommendation is to start with lighter colors first. I've done the underside, and I've just left like the frill and then also the horns white. And there's been some really interesting things I've already noticed. So with this paint, I put some in the palette, and as you can see, compared to regular paint, like, it doesn't stick to the palette, which is going to make it really easy to clean. That's really cool. And so, like, I filled that whole thing, and then as I've used it, it's gotten smaller and smaller, yeah, without me leaving a huge mess. So I really like that. Another thing, so originally I painted the horns yellow as well, and then I changed my mind, and then following the instructions in here, I used a wet sponge to dampen the paint again. Like, it had already looked like it had already dried, but I used the damp sponge to wetten it up and then just sort of, yeah, wipe it off. And look, they're almost proper white again. I was so surprised by that. So yeah, if you're worried about being clumsy and making mistakes, this is actually quite forgiving so far. I mean, when I start doing layers, that's going to be another thing. But yeah, so I was able to get pretty much all the yellow off the horns. Now there might be some speckles that still get on there, and I don't mind because yellow and white, sort of like a bone kind of look, that's what I'm going for. Yellow would have been okay, but I thought it might just be a little bit too much. So yeah, around the base will still be a bit of yellow, but yeah, so we'll have a bit of that white coming through. So I've used my hairdryer to dry it up, and you can actually see it as it dries. I think I can probably go straight for a second coat. Should I do that? Maybe. Yeah, no, I'm having a lot of fun already, just sort of watching him go from white to yellow. Yeah, oh, while I'm here, I guess some more thoughts, because I assume it's dry and I'm ready to go, but Yeah, so this has a lot of good instructions, but also while I was there, like, I have plans for this guy, and I was asking the lady, if I tried this, would it work? If I tried that, would it work? And she actually gave me some really cool tips and some different options. So I definitely recommend going in if you can. I mean, there is the online shop, but if you can go in and then you can talk to her and yeah, get some pointers. Also, you can paint at the studio if you want to, at their studio. I didn't have much time and I like to just, take my own time at home or in my own studio. So I did the take-home version. But yeah, you can go there, you can paint with a friend maybe, and I think they also run events if you book them in. Yeah, cool. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Alright, he's had his second coat, and keeping track of where I was up to with the second coat was pretty easy. I mean, I've dried him off now, but before the second coat dries, you can actually see that it's darker than the first coat. So that was, yeah, it's easy to keep track. I mean, I was trying to base it based on the, trying to do everything around the foot with the hole in it and using that to remember where I was up to. But turned out to be unnecessary. It was really easy to figure out. And then, yeah, when you use the blow dryer, you can actually see the bits that are still wet slowly drying up. So, yeah. Cool, I've got my 2 coats for my base, and yeah, this is sort of like background color. And then the next stage is going to be a bit more time consuming, and I think I've got to do a bit more planning about exactly what colors to go where. Not sure if I'll keep painting them today or if I'll come back next time. But yeah, one thing that's cool is they give you a pencil, and the reason for that is you can actually draw on it in the pencil, and then when it's fired, the pencil sort of like burns away or disappears, so you won't see it. So yeah, I could potentially mark out what areas I want, what colors, and keep track of things that way. But yeah, I've got to have a think about it because one of my ideas is a little bit complicated, and if I'm going to pull it off, there's a few ways I could pull it off, but one way is etching, and in that case, I really need my base coats to be really well dry. So yeah, maybe I will wait until next time I'm in. I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. So I've decided to clean up, and I'm just going to see how much of this yellow I can get back in to save for next time. Might take a while, but I am able to save a little bit. I'm being stingy. There's no way I'm going to be able to use all that paint. Like, that is 2 coats. And I don't plan on using much more yellow, so I'm just doing this more out of curiosity. Just because it's interesting. I haven't glazed anything in a long time. It's been a long time since I did any kind of pottery ceramics class. And I never played with the paints to this sort of a level. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see how much I'm going to be able to save. Don't mind me being stingy. Okay, so I used my paintbrush to help it along, but yeah, that's pretty good being able to get most of it back in there and just scrape it off. There's still a little bit on the paintbrush, but not too bad. Oh, and as you can see, I used the small paintbrush for doing those little details around the horns without having to wash it off again. So yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I'm enjoying this. Look how much paint I still have. Yeah. I mean, she said you can save these paints for future projects. I don't know how many I'll do, whether I go back and do some more after this. I guess it depends on, how it turns out, how much fun I end up having, whether the next stage where I get into the detail becomes too much for me. But yeah, cool. I'm going to go and wash up, and it looks like it's going to be really easy to wash because that's been sitting there, and I've got a few speckles on my desk as well. I'm sure I'll be able to get them off easily because of the way that it reacts to water. Yeah, easy to clean, really. Okay, so I've still got a bit of dampness on this sponge, let's see. Hey, yeah, so, especially if you're a messy sort of person, this seems like a good art form. Just in every way, like, so far it's not stressing me out like acrylics do, so cool, awesome. Okay, I think I was meant to be documenting how this guy is going. I'm way over time today. But yeah, I finished the orange, and I did have to go over some of the ones I did last time because they were a bit weak. Hopefully I won't have to go over any on the front because, yeah, I mixed up a whole bunch of paint, and that's why I'm here past the usual time. Dad's going to pick me up in a bit. But yeah, so the main thing is I was going to do like the rim around the bottom lip in orange as well, but apart from running out of time, I've decided I actually kind of like that. Like, it sort of gives a bit more definition to where the mouth is, whereas I might confuse it if I, had bits underneath. And then, yeah, look, so he's going to have a yellow tummy. And then I'm going to put colour over the orange and just sort of have the orange peeking out is sort of the idea, but maybe that's too elaborate. Yeah, I don't know. But he's getting there. Pretty cute. I left the nostrils open. Not sure what colour I'm going to do the eyes. But yeah, he's coming along. Damn thing taking me way too long.